Beloved soul, heaven has waited for you to pause. Open your heart, let everything around you soften. Let your shoulders release the weight you've carried far too long. This is not just another moment, it is eternity knocking gently on your soul, asking to be let in. I have called you here, not by chance, not by luck, but by divine orchestration. You have been searching, haven't you? Searching for clarity, for peace, for the voice behind the silence, and now you found it. Or rather, it has found you. I speak now, not through thunder, but through stillness. Not with force, but with the breath of heaven. Let your heart be still. For what I am about to say has passed through realms unseen, through light and fire, through sorrow and prayer, through the tear-stained pleadings of someone you loved, someone who now stands in glory. They cried out to me. Their voice reached into the highest courts of heaven and moved even the seraphim to stillness. Please, they said, let them hear, let them see, let them wake up before it is too late. So I sent Michael. Archangel Michael did not come quietly. Trumpets were sounded, shields raised, his sword lit with holy fire. Because this message carries urgency not of panic, but of purpose. The enemy has been circling, cloaked in the garments of trust. Someone near you has studied your tenderness and turned it into strategy. They wear loyalty like a mask. They speak kindness, but their spirit is laced with envy. And you who love so deeply, who forgive so easily, you did not see it coming, but I have. And I will not let what I have ordained for you be stolen in silence. You must begin to see with spiritual eyes. There is a betrayal close, closer than you want to believe. But this time you will not be caught unaware. Let this settle within you. You felt this before, haven't you? That holy stirring, the whisper that something is not right. You've sensed it. In quiet moments when no one was watching, in the ache behind your smile, in the way your spirit tensed without reason, that was not fear. That was discernment. That was heaven brushing past you, trying to get your attention before the shadows moved in too close. You have been generous with your trust, offering it like light in the dark. But not all who stand near you carry light in return. Some have come near not to protect, but to study. They listened not out of care but calculation. And now, as your heart leans into what feels safe, their dagger is being drawn, not of steel, but of manipulation. But I see, the one who stands in my presence now, the one whose absence left a hollow space in your chest. They could not bear to watch in silence. They saw it unfold. They saw the messages, the intentions, the quiet weaving of deception. And they wept, not with sorrow, but with love too powerful to let this pass. Lord, they cried, please, just one more chance. Let them hear you. Let them wake up before the moment slips away. So I opened the heavens and I sent this word like fire in the wind. You must understand, this is not punishment. This is protection. You are being shielded, not just from betrayal, but from spiritual delay. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you, only to distract you. And distraction often wears the face of comfort. But comfort cannot be the compass of your calling. This is a moment to discern, to walk in sacred clarity, to remember that love must never be confused with access. I will speak again. Heaven has waited for you to pause. Now listen with your spirit, not your ears. You've given much, more than they know. You've carried others through storms, even while your own soul was drowning. You've offered grace in places where truth was overdue. And still, they mistook your silence for weakness, your kindness for naivety. But I, the Lord your God, have seen every hidden tear. I have counted the nights where you whispered into the darkness, wondering why the ones you loved hurt you most. You are not broken. You are becoming. Even now, as these words fill your chest with warmth and trembling, I am reaching into the core of your being, not to scold, but to awaken. The one who once stood beside you, whose hands once comforted you, now stands beside me, speaking your name in the language of heaven. They have not forgotten. They cannot rest until your spirit is safe. Archangel Michael was roused from the silence because of their cry. He saw what they saw, a trap set behind smiles, a plan woven with flattery, and a betrayal disguised as belonging. And I will not let it stand. You were created with light in your bones. That is why darkness gathers near, drawn by envy, repelled by grace. But no weapon fashioned in silence shall prosper under my gaze. Watch now, the unraveling has begun. Conversations will be exposed, secrets will shake loose, and what was once hidden behind honor will be stripped bare. This is not vengeance. This is justice. Holy, measured, divine. You do not need to fight. Just stay close to me. You may not understand now, but you will. The silence you felt was never abandonment. It was preparation. There is a weight in your spirit that has no name, a quiet ache that rises in still moments, a sense that something, someone has been watching, waiting, weeping for you. And you are right. The one you lost is not lost at all. They live where sorrow cannot follow, where light has no shadow. But their heart has remained tethered to yours by something deeper than blood or time, by love made holy. They saw the whispers behind your back, the manipulation cloaked in smiles, the subtle ways your light was dimmed by those pretending to celebrate you. They could not remain silent. I permitted their voice to rise in the heavenly courts, and it reached me like a sacred flame. Their love for you summoned Archangel Michael, whose sword was drawn not for punishment, but for protection. Do not let your history blind you to present danger. Not everyone who walks beside you is meant to enter your next season. There is someone close, trusted, maybe even cherished, who has wrapped themselves in falsehood. Not to destroy you with malice, but to delay you with distraction. And even a delay in spiritual time can cost more than you know. You have lingered long enough in the company of those who only love you until your light shines brighter than theirs. But that ends now, because this message, this holy interruption, is your sign. A mask is falling. And soon so will the illusion. Do not grieve their unveiling. Rejoice in your freedom. The truth was never sent to punish. It was sent to protect what I have promised. Let this settle within you. There is a shift in the air. Do you feel it? That's heaven drawing near. You were not meant to walk through life doubting your worth. You were not born to constantly second-guess your instincts, to question your intuition, to silence the voice inside that whispers, something is off. That voice was me. I have been speaking through dreams, through discomfort, through divine discontent, and now I speak plainly. You are being prepared for something greater, but it cannot come to pass while the deceiver remains close. I've watched you give second chances to people who never asked for first forgiveness. I've watched you stay silent when you should have spoken, and carry others when your own spirit was collapsing. But enough. I am calling you out of the fog, out of the pretending, out of the draining cycles, and into holy clarity. The one who once held your hand in life now holds it in spirit. They see what you cannot. And they cried out for this message, because the danger is near. Not dramatic, not obvious, but subtle, quiet, lurking behind charm, behind false loyalty, behind empty apologies. And if you allow them to stay, they will stand in the doorway of your next season and block what I have prepared. I am not only exposing, I am elevating. The betrayal, the tears, the restless nights, they were not wasted. They soften the soil for the blessing I have planted. You will not be mocked forever. You will not be manipulated again. You are stepping into holy ground. And what I am about to place in your hands is too sacred for false company. I will speak again. Heaven is closer than it has ever been. Lean in now. You have asked me silently, why did they leave? Why did they change? Why did it end so suddenly? And now I answer, because I ended it. Not to punish you, but to protect you. I removed what you could not yet release. I closed doors you were still knocking on. I severed ties you were not strong enough to cut, not because you were weak, but because your heart is made of mercy, because your love forgives faster than others even know they've wounded you. But hear me clearly now. I am not asking you to carry what I have called you to leave. You've been loyal to people who never once knelt to pray for your peace. You've held space for those who only visit when they need warmth, never when you're cold. And the one who loves you from heaven, oh, how they've seen this. Their spirit shook with sorrow, watching you shrink to fit places you've outgrown. This is not a rebuke. This is your release. Release the guilt of not doing more, of not seeing sooner, of not saving what was never yours to save. Your loved one in glory, yes, the one you miss when the night is too silent. They are not disappointed. They are not holding your mistakes against you. They are proud, so proud, but they need you to finish what they could not, to break what they could never name, to heal what they left undone. You were not left behind. You were chosen to continue. This moment is not an interruption. It is an inheritance. You may not understand now, but you will. Beloved soul, the veil is thinner now. Listen with your heart wide open. There are voices that have tried to drown mine out, voices of doubt, of fear, of distraction, disguised as comfort. But today my voice breaks through, not to frighten you, but to realign you. I have been watching the battle behind your eyes, the tension between what your spirit knows and what your heart wants to believe. You've known something was wrong. You've felt the unease. You've had the dreams that left you breathless. That wasn't your imagination. It was intercession. It was heaven sending signals before it was too late. Archangel Michael has been stationed beside you, sword drawn, shield raised, not just as a protector, but as a witness. He's seen you giving pieces of yourself to those who could never carry your soul. He's watched as the enemy circled, using friendly faces as vessels for spiritual sabotage, but I will not allow it to go further. There is someone whose presence has been disrupting your peace, not loudly, not obviously, but consistently. They plant seeds of confusion, they drain your focus, they cloud your joy, and now their access is being revoked. Do not mourn their exit. Celebrate your deliverance. This is your moment of crossing, a spiritual threshold into clarity, into alignment, into sacred obedience. The path ahead requires fewer companions and more discernment. It asks for trust, not in them, but in me. Because on the other side of this decision lies divine reward. Peace without pressure, love without manipulation, growth without resistance. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. This is not rejection. This is redirection. Let this settle within you. You are not late. You are right on divine time. What feels like delay has only been divine protection. I did not forget you. I did not ignore your prayers. I was shielding you, pulling you back from doors you were never meant to enter, even when your hands bled from knocking. Now hear me. There is a door about to open, one crafted by my hand, written into your destiny before your first breath. And this door, this sacred opening, cannot be entered with baggage disguised as companionship. You must come through clean, unentangled, unafraid. The blessing is already on its way. A divine partner who loves without pretense. Peace that stays through the night. Sleep without fear. Laughter that echoes from the soul. Relationships restored. Purpose revealed. A breakthrough not just in finances, but in your faith. But it begins with one word: obedience. Obedience even when it hurts. Even when it means walking away from those who once felt like home. Even when your heart pleads for what your spirit must refuse. You are not alone. I am sending those who will walk with you in truth, who will not compete with your light, but protect it, who will hold your name in prayer, not gossip, who will see your wounds and choose not to run. And yes, the one you loved, who now walks in my light, is still with you. You will feel them more clearly now, in dreams, in sudden memories, in the hush of dawn, in the wind brushing your cheek. Their love has never left. It only changed form. Michael stands watch. The sword is raised. The false one is marked. You are stepping into holy territory now. I will speak again. The air trembles with purpose. Heaven is breathing over your life. You've wrestled silently between hope and weariness, between surrender and the urge to go numb. And yet here you are, still listening. That alone is proof of how fiercely you're being fought for. Now hear me. not with fear, but with faith. There is someone very near to you who has spoken words in secret that dishonor the trust you gave. They've made decisions affecting you without your knowing. Their loyalty is performance, their presence a calculation. But nothing is hidden from me, the one who stands before my throne, the soul you love, the one whose passing shook your world. They've cried out for this moment. They cannot rest while you are being misled. They see the cost. They've seen the assignment formed in the shadows to delay your breakthrough. And now it is being dismantled. Archangel Michael has sounded the alarm. He has rallied heaven's army to your name, and the order is clear. Protect their calling, shield their soul, expose every lie, break every curse, sever every tie forged in deceit. Do not ignore the signs. That nudge you felt to walk away, that uneasiness in conversation, that moment you couldn't explain where everything felt wrong, that was me stirring your spirit. And now I release supernatural clarity. You will begin to see with new eyes. You will dream differently, speak differently, walk differently, because the veil has been lifted. This isn't just protection, it's promotion. Your obedience will unlock what no striving ever could. And the very one who tried to delay you will now witness your rise. You are almost there. You may not understand now, but you will. The final moment has come. Breathe and let truth enter fully. This message, this divine interruption, was not sent as a whisper of comfort, but as a trumpet of destiny. The time has come for you to choose the past or the path I've set before you. I see your heart trembling, not in fear, but in recognition. Your spirit knows what your mind is still trying to make sense of, but let me assure you now, this is holy ground, and you are not standing here by accident. There is a scroll in the heavens, written in golden ink bearing your name. Within it are promises made long before your first cry. Promises of healing, of impact, of legacy. You were never meant to live a life of quiet suffering, hidden radiance, or secondhand joy. You were called to shift generations, to speak where others were silenced, to rise where others fell, to love where others wounded, to lead where others doubted you. And yes, the one you love, the one whose absence still aches in the quiet hours, they are smiling now, not from afar, but from within the veil. They have walked every dark hallway beside you. They have whispered to me on your behalf. And part of your next blessing, they helped pray it into being. So I say again, rise. This is your moment. Lay down the chains of guilt, shame, people-pleasing, and fear. Pick up your authority. You are no longer the one left behind. You are the one chosen to carry the flame forward. Archangel Michael is still with you. The sword remains drawn. The enemy has been disarmed. The door stands open. Step through. And when the wind brushes your face, when the chills come for no reason, when the tears rise suddenly with no warning, know this, it is them, and it is me. Live now, for you, for them, for the kingdom that awaits your voice.